Shalom, giving praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Akakwadash, double honors, apostles, and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations unto the elect. This is Torah Part from the Providence, Rhode Island camp, coming at you with a brief lesson, low, will, and edifying. And you're just going to go into a lesson here, building off of this picture, which was a picture between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, which are two pro boxers, and this is a picture after their fight. And these are two men that understood that the whole fight was just business, nothing personal. And they were both gaining some sort of profit out of it. So this is a picture that pretty much illustrates the scripture that reads in Isaiah, the 11th chapter, which I'm going to grab, where it talks about Judah shall no longer vex Ephraim, and Ephraim shall no longer vex Judah. Canelo would be considered Ephraim, and Crawford would be considered Judah, the northern and the southern kingdom coming back together in peace. All right. Scripture that I was quoting is here in Isaiah, the 11th chapter, in the 13th verse. This is all according to prophecy. It says, "The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off, and Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim." Now, this is something that the elites of this society, when I say the elites, I'm referring to the Edomites, the small hatters. They are locking their jaws and grinding their teeth when they see unity between so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because what they were trying to do all this time was keep us from being a people. All right, the divide and conquer method is what they have been doing, but it's all according to prophecy that the Israelites were going to be gathered back together. It's really, mainly the elect of the nation of Israel were going to come back together. But, we're starting to see people that are not in the truth, that are of the two different tribes, come back together. But where does the hate come from, really? It comes from the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, which are, let's go to Deuteronomy 28. And 54 says, "So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his child, which he shall leave." See, this is curses that Moses was relaying to the children of Israel from the Most High Yahweh. And these curses were to come upon us for disobeying the law, statutes, and commandments, for breaking the covenant. And what Esau did, what he was doing is, knowing this, he was adding fuel to the fire, creating different type of psyops so that, Israelites could hate each other. For instance, you have the light skin and dark skin battle, when nobody is black. Everybody on the earth is a shade of white besides one race of people, which are the Caucasian race, which they lack pigment. They lack melanin. They're melanin deficient. All right, so when it comes down to the prophecy of Esau, trying to keep us from being a nation, you got to go here to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, to prove that, right? Psalms, the 83rd chapter. And verse 2 says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and for they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They've taken crafty counsel against thy people," which are the Israelites, "and consulted against thine hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." So, then it goes into different nations, starting with the Edomites that came together to try to keep the children of Israel from being a people, from being a nation, from knowing who their power is. But here in these last days, the elect of the nation of Israel are the ones really coming back together, right, in the land of their captivity. Right, this is Baruch chapter 2 and verse 30. "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am the Lord their power. For I will give them a heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord." So this is what's taking place now. The elect are waking up in the land of their captivities, whether it's in America, whether it's in Asia, whether it's in Africa, different places in the islands. Like the children of Israel are waking up to who they really are through the preaching of this word. Okay, the men of Yahweh Shem Shai on every place, teaching his word, using the internet. That's really doing the heavy lifting. All right, and people are waking up and returning back into the ways of the Most High, which one of the ways is to love thy neighbor. I'm gonna grab another scripture written in the book of Psalms. Let me see if I can grab it like this. Sing song, many fear. Yep, this is Psalms chapter 40 and verse 2. This is David, right? It says, verse 1, Salakia. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry, right? What is that cry? The prayers that put out, the prophesying that's being done, the sighing and crying for all the abominations done in the midst thereof, like being vexed with the filthy conversations of the wicked. That's that cry, all right? And that cry is literally a sacrifice, okay? That cry is a reflection of a broken spirit. And according to the scriptures, all right, Yahweh Shem Shai looks at that as, matter of fact, I know I'm kind of all over the place, broken spirit. Psalms 51 and 17, the sacrifices of the Most High are a broken spirit. A broken and a contrite heart, O power, thou will not despise. You see, that's one. Let me see, sacrifice. Let me see. Yep, this is Hebrews 13 and 15. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to the Most High continually. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. So, when we giving praise to the Lord, when we crying out to the Lord, hey, that's likened unto a sacrifice, okay? And what does he do? He delights in pleasant sacrifices. Verse 2, he brought me up out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings, which, in other words, David is saying he took him out of a terrible condition and brought him into a great one. AKA, how we look at that today is we were taken out of the world following heathenistic customs into following the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay? And that rock is Yahweh Shai. That's our foundation. It's no longer the ways of the heathen. Okay, verse 3 says, and he put a new song in my mouth and even praise unto our power, which here's the point. Many shall see it in fear and shall trust in the Lord. So that's building on Baruch, the 2nd chapter, where it talked about how we shall remember ourselves in the land of our captivity. Let me go here. Let me do this. Let's go back. Let's go to Isaiah 11. There was one I wanted to cross-reference. Right here, yep. This is Isaiah 11. Okay, con. Yep. Just going back to Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, because this is basically what we're witnessing, the gathering of the elect, all right? Ezekiel 37 and 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph and the stick of Ephraim, which are interchangeable, is the same thing, for all the house of Israel, his companions, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hands. So that's where we get the 12 tribes chart, all right? The 12 tribes of Israel. Right, because Israel is a man, but Israel is also another name for the northern kingdom. All right, Israel or Ephraim. It says, and when the children of thy people shall speak to thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say to them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. All right, so this is all prophesied, all right, going back to this image here, because the brother said a picture is worth 1,000 words. This is a representation of the northern and southern kingdom coming back together. And this is something that these Edomites hate, man. They don't like to see us coming back together, but because what? Because it is a token of their perdition. All right, it's a token of there's a prophecy that's being played out. All right, that is related to their downfall. Because when the children of Israel come together, that's when the downfall of Esau takes place. All right, let's go to 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, so this is where we're at. We're in that time where the children of Israel, the elect, are being gathered together, brought together, dwelling with peace amongst one another. Meanwhile, the world, the kingdom of the Edomites is crumbling, even though it may seem as though it's going in the direction in which they want it to go. Their end is bitter. Their end is bitter. Okay, matter of fact. Let me see. Salakia. Let me grab this quick scripture, see if I could. I think it's in Ecclesiastes. I just want to check something real fast. Nah, there's nothing really. Nah, that's it. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I made the point. Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, El Shai, Bashem, Rakakwadash. Shalom.